Hello, I'm the Artsy Crafter, and today I'm going to show you how to make this Mother's Day never-ending postcard. You can find me on Teachers Pay Teachers or on TES, and the links are below. So the way the never-ending card works is you open up different pages and fold under, and you can see every page is a new and interesting surprise. So I've created this one with a graphic of a little girl, and on your product file there is a graphic for a little boy. I have writing activities for the students and all kinds of fun, really creative graphics as well. So basically, as long as your students can cut out rectangles, they can make this never-ending postcard for mama, grandma, auntie, sister, and as long as they can cut out the rectangles, I'll show you how to put it together. Okay? So stay tuned and I'll give you the step-by-step directions in order to create your never-ending postcard for Mother's Day. Okay, I think we're ready to begin putting our product together. So the first thing I want to point out to you, I just use regular photocopy paper, 8.5 by 11, which is letter size paper, and I just use a regular glue stick. You're going to put this together in the following 3 steps. Step number 1, have your students color everything that they need. So you can see I have 4 what I'll call of tall templates and 4 what I'll call the long templates. So color everything, step number 1. Step number 2, make sure the students fill in any of the writing activities. And then when they're finished that, step number 3, they can cut out the 8 templates that they need. I'm going to create today using the templates with the little girl on it, but you can see in the file there are templates with little boys as well. So color, complete the writing activities, and cut. And I'll be back to show you how to fold. All right, so you have everything colored, writing activities completed, and you have your 8 templates ready to go. Remember, 4 tall and 4 long. Next step, on all of the dashed lines you're going to fold. So have your students sit one of the templates down flat on their desk, fold on the dashed line, and when I say fold in both directions, it means pick it up and just fold it back on itself again, and with your fingers do a really good crease. So I'll give you a minute now to do all the folds on your 8 templates. Okay, in this next step, we're ready to start gluing together. So the first thing you have to decide is, what do you want the top of your craft to look like? I have to decide between the 4 talls, and so I decide I want these 2 on top. So take the 2 you want to finish with and set them aside now. So I'm left with 2 talls, and I want them to look like this when they're done. So I'm going to turn them upside down, and you're also going to keep them in that same order. So turn them upside down, but flip them as well. Okay? And now you're going to apply the glue. So the glue goes in the 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to take 2 long templates, and I've chosen one that has a graphic on it and one that you've completed the writing activity. And what you're going to do is put them on upside down. So to remember to do that right away, I put them upside down, and that way I can just pick them up and put them in place. So start here with this one and put it in the top corner. Line it up as best you can. Bring those 2 talls close together but not touching, and then try and keep them in place and line up so these 2 corners are glued. Because I have this one upside down, I will make sure to remember to glue it upside down. So do the same thing. Line up the bottom corner, the other bottom corner, and glue those in place. And there should be a little bit of a gap right here now, okay? Now don't be in a hurry to open and close this. Just let that sit for a couple minutes so that glue is nice and dry. and I'll come back and show you how to do the next step. But look at that, you're already halfway done. Okay, let's look at what you've created so far. This is what the front should look like, and this is what the back should look like. If yours doesn't look like this at this point, change it right now, okay? So now we're going to add the next two templates. Begin with the front as you've created it so far, and to open the doors. So open the doors, one door goes to the left, one door goes to the right, and put it flat on your desk again. And because you've already creased these edges once, it'll be pretty simple to make all of those edges nice and sharp again with your fingers. So crease again, and we're going to glue. So when you're done creasing, I'll show you how to glue. Okay, when you open it up, this is what it should look like. So basically you should see 4 corners and then what I'll call the 2 large squares. And that's where you're going to put the glue. In the corner of those 4. And these 2 squares that you've created because of your folds, put a good amount of glue right there in the middle. And then you're going to take 2 long templates and put them in place. So again, start in the top corner, line it up. So notice there's glue here and here and right about there. And do the same in the bottom. 2 corners, line it up. So there's glue here and here and right about here. Let that sit and dry for a moment, and I'll show you how to do the last step. Okay, we're ready for the last step. So here we go again. Open the doors, one folds up, one folds down, put it flat on your desk, and with your fingers do a nice crease again on those 2 large squares. Now what you have now looks like 4 squares, small squares on the top, 4 small squares on the bottom, and 2 here in the middle of your craft. And I want you to put glue in these spots here. So on the left side I want glue in those 4 spots. On the right I want glue in those 4 spots, and it doesn't hurt to put a little dab in the center as well. Okay? So I'll do that with you. So glue, 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 one in the middle. I want my girl on the left. So again, line those up as best you can and hold that in place. And do the same thing on the right. 4 spots and 1 in the middle. And so glue those in place, and hold it. Now, sometimes the way we put things down is not as accurate as it could be. So the last step with your scissors, if you need to do any little trimming, so see here, maybe I wasn't as accurate as I could have been, just trim up some of those spots there where the paper didn't line up quite perfectly. Okay, I've let mine sit for about 5 minutes, and now I'm going to open and close it and make sure it's perfect. Okay, so here's my front. I open the doors and I tuck them under. And again, do you see, every time you're going to just do a little bit of trimming here. So on the left, on my right, I didn't line it up quite as perfectly as I wanted it, so that's trimmed up nicely. Open it up again. Do you see how it catches a little bit sometimes? Then trim those up a little bit. So open it up. If you want to trim those, that's where it was catching. Do you see that? You can see, just trim some of those edges. I'll give you a moment to do some of your trimming. Okay, I've spent a little time trimming up my edges, and you can see now when I open, Look how nice and easily this opens. These never-ending little postcards for Mama. Now, you get to a certain spot and you think, why is that upside down? Because you have to make sure that you open always in one direction, okay? So if that happens to you and you think, what's going on? Just turn it the other way and look. Okay? So don't panic. If you followed the directions as I gave them to you, don't panic if suddenly your material looks like it's upside down. Just turn it around, okay? All right, hope you love your little Mother's Day expanding postcards and never-ending postcards, whatever you want to call them. And I'm going to make one for Father's Day now. So enjoy. Find me on Teachers Pay Teachers or TES. Bye now.